personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that then. Why I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who's coming to the stage. Sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the court. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, then listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Starts like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs, you know what's going on. Man, now we're After Dark, no LA, we the big spark. No 4th and inches won't cut you short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzzer beaters. We coming live, all 3 speakers go.
Sometimes, Wyatt, you just gotta sit back and let the beat build. Gets the people going, Wyatt. Gets them going. And what is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckheischer here with the Man Hour. Head over to manhourradio.com. Check out the blog section and, of course, the merchandise section as well. And, of course, the only members-only tab that you will ever need in your whole entire life. Click on the members-only as little as $3 a month. You get behind-the-scenes footage. You get the after-hours show, which the after-shower show now is extremely live, raw, and uncut. So if you guys want any questions asked there, like tonight, I want to ask Wyatt, what is something that he does to his other half, to his spouse, to his girlfriend that she absolutely hates, that she doesn't know about? So if you guys want to know that answer, tune in tonight on the after-hours show. As little as $3 a month, you can join the after-hours show, and that is live every Monday through Thursday at 10 p.m. East Coast time, only at manhourradio.com. With that being said, we gotta welcome the man, the myth, the legend, not Brandon B.C. Combe, but the Wyatt Williams. Emphasis on the. What is going on, Wyatt, man?
Nothing much. What's going on, man?
Dude, today was like one of those special days in the world where spring fever hit the Buck household, and I got home from work and I did not do nothing. I took my shoes off. I took my pants off. I sat in the hammock and drank a cold beer.
I feel that.
Man, do you feel that at 18 years old?
No.
I'm just kidding.
I feel the relaxing part. That's what I did today, man. I went out and met with a bunch of people today for working with Man Hour and stuff like that. And yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
So if you guys are curious of like how much work goes in behind the scenes, Wyatt actually had to wake up before 2:00 today. He was out and about at like 8:00 in the morning, hustling those streets, trying to get us some advertisers. So if you guys are interested in advertising here on the Man Hour, hit up Wyatt.Williams@manhourradio.com. So definitely shoot him an email, and we got some very reasonable price packages over there. We do have some people already chiming in on the chat here. We have one of the greatest people in the world. Nana is coming in, says, "What's up, Man Hour Nation?" Man, Mrs. Smith, like, we are so glad that you are here with us each and every night. And then, of course, we got Tori Anderson saying, "Don't be cheap. Do the $5. Yeah, do the $5. If you do the $5, members only, you get a free t-shirt or a hoodie after 6 months of service. We also got Michelle chiming in. Michelle, hopefully you are taking care of our man, Brandon Combs. Brandon Combs has been down with the sickness, not like the disturbed, but like actually down with the sickness. And he chimes in and says, "What is going on, boys? Combs, we're definitely missing you over here on the Man Hour. So
yes,
get
sir.
well soon, man." Allegedly, he doesn't have the Rona, but all signs are pointing toward the Rona. So hopefully, Combs is Rona free. If anything, just put a lime on it and you'll be fine, right?
I guess. I don't know. I had it and I didn't want a lime. Well, actually, you could eat a lime. I can't taste anything. Dude, that is the weirdest thing of having the virus. Like the whole part of it, like just the weirdest thing is genuinely not being able to taste anything. Like, I can't even explain to you what that's like.
Hey,
like
Wyatt,
actually feeling the texture of your food is so nasty whenever you can't taste it.
That was a alcohol reference there. You know, the Corona with a lime. Like, I mean, you might be a little too young to really understand the emphasis of that joke there. It definitely went way over your.
Got it.
Way over your. Yeah. Okay.
Got
it. Alleged. As people are chiming in, says what Mrs. Smith says, "What is up, Michelle?" I mean, the Man Hour girl crew. They are on point, man. Like we have Mrs. Smith, we have Michelle, we have Stacy,
The Whoa Man Hour crew.
Yeah, there we go. We should probably make a Whoa Man Hour T-shirt. How cool would that be?
That would be actually really cool.
Yeah, and then Brandon chimes in and says, "Jesus Crow, youngin." Like,
Jeezum Crow, youngin.
Yeah, because you didn't get the Corona reference I was trying to lay on you there, Wyatt. So, man,
I'm
Wyatt,
sorry.
I guess I was 18 once and didn't really know what a Corona Light was. I guess I don't know, but I lived a pretty crazy lifestyle when I was 16 through 22 years old, though. So
you still have a crazy lifestyle.
I gotta just have fun. Why? Like let's just be honest. Like age is just a number at the end of the day.
It is,
and like hanging out with like people that like are like our high school kids kind of keeps me young at heart, right? And I bet you I have more fun than all you little kids over there every day of the week.
You probably have more fun than me, man. School is not fun.
I love school because I was a football player and a baseball player in a 3A high school. I didn't do jack.
Yeah,
let's just be honest.
School's never fun though. Like, just I don't know how to explain it. I mean, it's fine. Like, I don't hate it or anything, but just like they need to. When I get older, the first thing I'm doing is instilling something for the children of the future that school doesn't start till 10 a.m. because this 6 a.m. thing is not cool. All right, I am not for this.
What time would you get out of school? At 2:00 still?
Yeah.
So you would go like all year round, like no breaks at all?
Well, no. Go your normal time. Just cut a couple hours out of the day. Nobody pays attention at 6 a.m. anyways in the morning. We're all like falling asleep in the back of the class. It's not like we're doing anything. The teachers are all sipping their cup of coffee. They're still trying to wake up. First and second period at school, just to let you parents know who are paying for your kids' education, nothing goes on. Nothing happens.
Why? I had some of my best classes at first and second period. Meaning, like, of course, back in my school day, we had block scheduling. So, like, I had it like an hour and a half for my first period. So
that's what we have block scheduling at Jeff. Yeah. And A-days are great because A-days I have radio TV to start today. So I go into the, very nice studio we have at Jeff High. I go in there and I prep for Man Hour. I prep for any upcoming broadcasts. I kind of chill out, turn on some YouTube, listen to some, just listen to some sports highlights and all that stuff while I'm working. It's nice. I like it. But on B days, I start off with English and woo.
Guys, let me know in the comment section. That is one thing that I never understood about English class. Like I took Spanish, which I didn't retain any of it, but I took Spanish in like high school, and we learned how to speak.
I cannot even imagine you speaking Spanish. I cannot.
Right? With the honestly, the stutter helped so much because right, but nonetheless,
your teacher was like, "It flows so nice."
No, so funny story. Why? I actually got kicked out of Spanish class like my second week into the class.
Of course, you did.
The teacher writes some words up like in Spanish, and she's like, "What is wrong with this sentence?" I'm like, "It's in Spanish," and she's like, "Michael, just get out of here. You are going to be no good in this class whatsoever." I mean, it's a true story, right?
What's wrong with this? It's in another language.
Yes, but
me no read it.
But that is one thing that I never understood. Like in Spanish and French and German, like you learn how to speak those languages, right? In English, you don't learn how to speak English. You learn about adjectives and nouns. Like, I don't care what an adjective is. Seriously, I am 33 years old right now, and I don't have any need to know what a noun or adjective or a conjunction or adverb. I don't need to know any of that. Like any of that stuff. Like, I literally don't. And I spent 6 years in high school learning that. Yes, I failed English a couple times, but that's here nor there. But yeah, so Tori says Mike Spanish yo Cato Taco John's. Yeah, I mean that's as about much Spanish as I know, to be honest. So why we do have an action-packed show for us tonight. We are going to talk some more NCAA tournament action. We got some more bracket busters happening. I did go from first to last, so I'm pretty excited about that. So you have a chance to kind of gloat as I was gloating on you all night last night. Then we're going to talk some NFL free agency. Kenny Galladay signed a huge contract for the Giants. None of us were like really expecting that big contract, I think. And then of course we have the infamous Liar Liar and Would You Rather. We do have a special guest on for Liar Liar tonight since Brandon Combs is out tonight. So
it's Trevor Bauer.
Speaking of Brandon Combs,
greatest pitcher of all time.
That was the most Italian Spanish expression ever, Wyatt Williams.
Yeah, it kind of was. I agree. I thought it when I said it. Have I ever taken? No, I have not taken a foreign language. I would be so terrible at that. It's not even funny.
You don't have to have a foreign language to graduate high school?
No, so like you don't have to have it to graduate high school, but you have to have it to go to the college that I wanted to go to. I was never told that until I got to a visit with the college that I wanted to go to, and then they told me I needed 2 years. And yeah, that's about all that one wrote.
So basically, that just tells you that Kansas schools are better than Indiana schools right now because in Kansas we took Spanish in like freshman year. So
yeah, I mean you could take Spanish for a freshman year. Like some people take it all 4 years, but like you only have to take it 2 to get into universities.
I'm so confused. Why do we need to know Spanish to go to college? But whatever. I mean, I
don't know.
Like, are they
it's any foreign language. You can learn like German and go to college with that. So you got
what
me.
If I learn American? What American? How about I learn how to speak Kentuckian?
I am no expert, but I don't think American is a language. So.
Yeah, we speak American in America. We don't speak English. We speak American.
Okay.
True. No, like seriously, like if you were to ask a English person to speak English, we could not understand a word they're saying because we speak American here.
Buck, no, I'm sorry, I can't follow you on this one,
guys.
Normally, I'm all in on the shenanigans. This one, I just no, I don't want to be known as somebody who agrees with you.
During the break. During the break, Google it. What language does people speak? And as we go to our first, and as we
that's
go to
what you think it's called American.
Brandon Combs says, "I'm getting the What Does for Tomorrow show if all from this intro segment." Jokes on you, Brandon. We're going to mute you all show tomorrow.
Yeah,
so just be prepared.
And we'll give you the what the because the sickness is currently giving you the what the.
As he is down with the sickness. But guys, we are going to talk some NCAA basketball on the other side of the break. My bracket is officially busted. Wyatt in the Man Hour Nation bracket here, you are the only one that has a championship team left in it. So it is time for your time to gloat a little bit on that. But I'm still going to win because it's my bracket and I do what I want. So with that being said, guys, we're going to take our first break here on the Man Hour. We're going to talk some NCAA basketball as we get back. We'll be right back. And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckeye along with Wyatt Williams as well. If you're going to miss any part of the show whatsoever, you can download this on podcast from iTunes, Spotify, and iHeartRadio, or you can catch us live every Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. at youtube.com/Man Hour, and also at Sunday through Thursday at 8 p.m. at youtube.com/Man Hour. So let's welcome Wyatt back onto the show. Wyatt, it is time to talk some NCAA basketball. Brackets across the nation have been busted. Number one seed getting beat. Number two stomped. It is absolutely ridiculous. I go from 97 percentile down to basically 50%. Speaking of 50%, Brandon Combs is sitting at 13% tile there, so he is not doing too great in the Man Hour bracket there.
What about right now?
You are 80%, I think. You and Brian Pirtle are both at 83.1%.
I dropped to 75 after Creighton beat Ohio. So
yeah, so
crap.
Yeah, I that hasn't updated on mine yet, so let me go ahead and refresh the page. But one of the biggest games that we talked about last night was the VCU Oregon game, and kind of how Oregon kind of got that free pass into the second round to play Iowa. And we both sat here on the Man Hour on Big X Sports Radio, not 96.1, saying that how Iowa was basically going to have their way with Oregon. But you did say that the only way Oregon is going to win is if they pressure them and like into shots and use their fresh legs to their advantage. Spoiler alert: Oregon beat Iowa, so Iowa is officially out of the tournament. So why I want to give you the floor and talk about this game like a little bit.
Yeah, no, it was just it was a wild game. It was exactly what I thought Oregon would come out and do. They're on fresh legs. They they didn't have that tournament icebreaker game, of course, but at the same time, they didn't just play 2 days ago. Iowa just played 2 days ago, or 2 days before that, excuse me. So, it's just one of those things where, you have tired legs. They cramped up. They were out of gas, essentially. They gassed them. They ran up and down the floor. They spaced it really well. They kept Iowa constantly running, and Iowa just really couldn't keep up because of the fresh legs that they had behind them. So that was really just the main thing that I noticed, was that they kept the pace of the game quick. I did feel bad for Luka Garza, though. I got to say, I think he had, was it 36 points, something like that? 36 plus points.
39, yep.
Yeah, so, he had 36 points. Like, the guy gave his heart out and played as hard as he could. He's going to be a really good pro someday. In the near future, of course, because he's headed to the draft now. But I like Luka Garza a lot. He's one of those guys that kind of captures the original game of college basketball. You don't really see anybody stay for a long amount of time anymore. It's all about the one and done. Once you get that opportunity to go, everybody goes. Where Luka stayed. Luka stayed and did his best to win. Of course, he didn't, which sucks ultimately for him and all the Hawkeye fans. But Oregon did a really good job spacing the floor. They were quick and moving up and down. They did a really good job.
Yeah, many people were saying that how Oregon was going to come out kind of scared and like timid. I was being one of those people, but they dominated that whole game. They won it by 15 or by 15 points, 95-80. And it like there are certain games where you just feel like one team kind of has the advantage like all game long. And I felt like Oregon never really let Iowa like off the bus. Like now guys, this is our game to like have, and they just ran the table with them all game long. Speaking of running the table, Gonzaga is still undefeated going into the Sweet 16 again. They did beat Oklahoma 87-71. Why Gonzaga is your national championship team, but we sat here on the Man Hour and we have said that they are usually a Sweet 16 or a Elite 8 exit.
Yep.
They are playing the Creighton Blue Jays in the Sweet 16 matchup. Does Creighton have a shot against the Gonzaga Bulldogs?
No. After watching Gonzaga just demolish. I know the score didn't show it demolishing, but they put it on Iowa, or they put it on Oklahoma the whole time. They are just loaded with NBA talent. And I think this is the year. You have so many years of unfortunate luck. You have so many years of that, but eventually you're going to have to break that. And so I think this is the year they break that. They've got, like I said, they've got NBA talent all over. They're insane lineup, and they play so well together. I don't think anybody is going to be able to compete with that. Creighton's a good team, and Creighton really surprised me. I thought Ohio was going to win that. Even in my bracket, I had Ohio beating Virginia and then beating Creighton in the round of 32. But Creighton did play really well today. They were just a better team. And I think it's going to be the other way around. I think that Gonzaga is just an all-around better team. Gonzaga played a really good game today against Oklahoma. They're just a heck of a roster. And I mean, when you've got 3 or 4 guys that are going to play in the NBA, it's hard to beat a squad like that. I don't see anybody doing it.
Yeah, and just like looking how the West is starting to shape up here. We do have the KU USC game here, like at 10 o'clock tonight on the East Coast here, but Zags are playing Creighton Blue Jays and then the Oregon Ducks, and I'm picking Kansas to win this game simply because of my bracket purposes there. And Gonzaga matches up great against all 4 of the teams left in that bracket.
Well, I mean, and then when you look at the other side too, like there's nobody really on the other side. If Rutgers wouldn't have choked, there would have been, I believe it's an 8, it's an 11, and a 12. And a 10 seed competing to go to the Elite Eight. So I mean, it's a committee to go to the Final Four. So
yeah, so speaking of those 8 and 12 seeds, there, Chicago Loyola did beat Illinois. We talked about that on yesterday's show here. But the game that we didn't have a chance to talk about was the Oregon State versus Oklahoma State. I had Oklahoma State going to the national title and winning the game. You had them playing Gonzaga. So what happened to Oklahoma State in this, like in that game versus Oregon State?
They got out hustled at every mark, at every bat, at every channel. There was just no way that they were matching up to it. They had completely canceled out Cade Cunningham to the point where he couldn't make that big impact he always makes. They forced Cade to take shots over and over and over again, and really just kind of rely on his shooting, which is not his best aspect as well. He is a playmaker. He passes the ball very well. He's not a terrible shooter, but that's not his strength, of course. So they forced him to take uncomfortable shots that he didn't want to, and they forced him to also give it up to other guys on the team that aren't used to taking those shots. They did a really good job defensively of keeping them uncomfortable at all times, of not doing, not letting them get to the points to where they want to be. And the Oregon State's another team right now that they're on the surprise, on the rise right now. I think they have a shot to be a possible Final Four team as well.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like all the Pac-12 schools they kind of get overlooked every year simply because
the West Coast is playing incredible right now.
Well, and we just never get to see them play here on the East Coast because it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. Who wants to stay that up to watching USC versus Oregon, right? Well, looking back on it now, we wanted to stay up and watch USC like Oregon because the Pac-12 looks like probably the most dominant conference in the tournament so far. Many people had the Big Ten, that they had three Big Ten teams in the Final Four, but the Big Ten is kind of wetting the bed here. Why it
absolutely is.
Did the regular season kind of take its toll on them, or
I don't know, man. It's like after the first round, I believe they were 6-6. Currently, they're sitting at like 6-8, I believe, 6-7, somewhere in there. So it's not looking too great for them right now. They've completely gone full circle on us. It was a conference that we all believed was the best conference in all of college basketball in the Big Ten.
Right.
But now, I mean, and the Big 12 is kind of pooped out on us as well. There's not too many great Big 12 teams left. I mean, Kansas is fine, but you look at like Texas already lost, Oklahoma lost, Oklahoma State lost. So, and Baylor too. Baylor and Kansas, I believe, are the only two, big dogs that are left for them. So, I mean, I don't know. I feel like the Big 10 and the Big 12 both have really just wet the bed on this one. It's not been the same team it's not been the same team or teams with an S that we've seen all year long. They've just been completely different all across the board. And it's been a dumpster fire, really, essentially here in this tournament.
Well, are they the same team, or are the other teams just better than what we thought they were? Just because, like we've said, like we don't stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning to watch those West Coast team play. Like a guy, I can count on my single hand how many Chicago of Loyola team games that I watched, and the answer is 3. And like I just did not watch a lot of these teams play. But looking back on it now, I really wish I would have. Like I wish I would have caught more Colorado games. I wish I would have caught more Abilene crashing games. Right? Heck, even Houston Cougars. They're looking fairly good as well. So let me ask you this question: of the teams that are in the Sweet 16, who is the biggest surprise for you so far?
Of the teams in the Sweet 16, Oral Roberts, for sure. I really didn't expect them to come out of that first game. I thought Ohio State would throttle them, and then that would be all she wrote on that one. That would be really it. Then in that second game, I really kind of was skeptical as if they'd move past Florida. I had a feeling there was a chance, but I wasn't 100% on it by any means. That's a big one. But I would say really the biggest one is Oregon State. I completely wrote off Oregon State. I said to myself, there is no way that they even advance out of that first game. Tennessee is a much better team. At least with Oral Roberts, we kind of had that moment where everybody looked around and saw that they had that really good guard for them. That's like one of the top scoring guards in the nation. Mm-hmm. So we all knew that there was a chance that they would have a fight in that game. We didn't expect them to win, of course, but like nobody really had Oregon State doing anything. There was no noise behind them. There was nothing. They essentially were just kind of wrote off immediately as a 12 seed that was going to lose right out the gate. Tennessee was going to move on. They're way too good of a defensive team, and that was it. That's the last we hear of Oregon State for a while.
Yeah.
And since then they've really come to open everybody's eyes. I mean, we have never had a 5 seed win the whole dance. And we have never had a 12 seed make the Final Four. This year, honestly, at this rate, we might see both. We might have a 5 seed win the whole thing. I mean, and we've got 2 5 seeds left at the moment with Colorado and Creighton.
Right.
We might see it. Who knows?
We might see it, but I highly, highly doubt it. I don't think Creighton's going to get past Gonzaga.
I don't either. But
I think Florida State's going to beat Colorado. I mean, as that game is happening right now.
Yeah, no, that I 100% agree with you. But and it's a crazy year, and I think it goes to show. A lot of people are just talking about the upsets. I don't necessarily think it was upsets. I think the NCAA really just screwed up these rankings bad this year. Like I don't think every year you're gonna have upsets. You're gonna have a 12 seed win. You're gonna have an 11 seed win over a 6. But this is crazy. I mean, we've got. In one division, we've got an 8 seed, we've got a 10 seed, we've got a 12 seed, and then we've got an 11 seed. Or no, excuse me, we do not have a 10 seed. We have a 2 seed. But at the moment we have 2 1 seeds that could potentially be knocked off by 8 seeds. It's just it just goes to show the NCAA really jacked this one up. A 2 seed loss to a 15, which has happened before. But a 15 seed is
right.
Something like that. It's not even 10. And a 15 seed has only made the Sweet 16 one time ever before this. So this is only the second team ever. So, I mean, I just think it goes to show the NCAA really jacked up the rankings bad.
Yeah, so speaking of jacking up these seedings, I was reading somewhere where like one particular person had Chicago of Loyola up in like a 5 or a 4 seed even. Like they were very, very highly looked at.
They're the best defensive team in the nation. How do you overlook that? You know what I mean? The NCAA kind of just did them dirty on that. That's why I had them moving through. But I also thought that, Illinois' offense was just so good with Ayo and not just with Ayo, with Coburn as well. Those 2 guys, as well as many other great people on that team. But I really just didn't think that they would move past them. But now, I mean, looking at it, they are a really good team. They're a stout team.
Yeah, so circling back to the question here, one of the biggest surprises, you are going with Oral Roberts. I'm going with UCLA. Many people had UCLA losing that play in game. They beat Michigan State, a Tom Izzo coach Michigan State team. Like why I've said, don't let Tom Izzo into tournament because every time you let him in, he gets to like the Final Four.
He
I
goes deep.
That was like his first round exit in like 15 years. I believe it was something ridiculous. But then they go and beat a very, very good BYU team. They have 4 losses on the year, four losses on on the year, and 3 of them came to Gonzaga, the number 1 overall seed. So obviously a very, very good team in that. And then they battled a Abilene Christian school, that they pretty much thumped, by 20 plus points. So
yeah, Abilene Christian completely just wiped away too.
Yeah, I feel like I was kind of on that high horse, and I thought they were going to do well, but apparently not. So clock strike noon for them early. But UCLA kind of has this path for them to make it to the Final Four. Like honestly, I think they can beat. I think they can beat Alabama if Alabama gets past the Maryland game here, and then LSU is up on Michigan right now, and I think LSU can beat both Florida State and Colorado. Yeah. So UCLA and LSU match up there to go to the Final Four. Like I think that would be a highly anticipated matchup, and you get an 8 versus 11 seed. One of them is going to make it to the Final Four. How crazy is that?
It's wild. It really is. I wouldn't have expected it. And you look at it over here, teams we mentioned here, Syracuse is a big name we haven't talked about much. We talked about them a little bit yesterday, but Syracuse is another 11 seed I think could have a decent shot at it. If they're able to knock off Houston in this game, which Houston almost got beat by Rutgers. Rutgers had Houston down, I think it was by like 10 points with a couple minutes left in that game, and Houston came rolling back. And if Syracuse can actually pull ahead in that one, I don't know if they'll let them back. So at the moment, we could potentially be looking at a Loyola Chicago versus Syracuse Elite 8 round. One of those teams is going to the Final Four. It's just crazy to me. It's wild.
So of the Sweet 16 teams that we already know, we are recording this on Tuesday night here for the Big X Sports Radio. So there are 2 games in progress and 2 games still to play here. So of the Sweet 16 teams that are locked in, who do you have circled now besides Gonzaga going to the Final Four?
I wasn't really high on them coming into the tournament, but I gotta say they've played really well and surprised me. It's Baylor. Baylor, and I don't mean to just stick with the 1 seed here, but Baylor is playing really good right now. And like I said, this, I wasn't very high on them coming into the tournament. I had them winning that first game, and I had them on upset alert for that second one. I still in my bracket had them moving through, but nonetheless, I thought for sure that they would have got upset by now or at least come close, but they've kind of gone back to that undefeated form, how they were playing before they lost that one game to, I believe it was Kansas. They've really kind of hit their stride again. So they've been playing really good. So other than Gonzaga at the moment, I say give me Baylor.
Yeah, so this pains me to say, but I see my man Milton like over here in the comments, and I know he is a Kansas Jayhawk fan. Man, every time Kansas Jayhawks kind of just fly underneath the radar all year, boom, the next thing you know, they're in a Final Four. And I don't like the Kansas Jayhawks. I hate the Kansas Jayhawks. I hope nothing but bad luck for the Dirty Birds every year. But my man Milton's Jayhawks, man, like I kind of gotta slide the Jayhawks in there, man, because I just everything kind of suits up for them pretty well here. So
their road to get there for the Jayhawks. So they've got to win today at USC. I think they will. Then they got to play Oregon. Oregon's really hot right now. If Oregon plays like they did against Iowa, that's going to be a really tough game for Kansas there. But say Kansas moves on. Yeah, Kansas Gonzaga, that'd be a heck of a game.
Yeah.
So it would be a nice fill-in for what I thought. Man, and I'm just so upset. We've got cheated out of so many great matchups so far. I was so excited to see Io and Cade Cunningham go at it in like a week or two. And I was so excited to see Cade Cunningham and Luka Garza, those two teams, go at it as well. I was excited, not that. I was excited to see Gonzaga and Iowa in that Elite Eight. I already told everybody that was the game that was going to decide it for the tournament. I thought, man, we've got cheated out of so many good matchups because of upsets this year. But it's awesome. You know, like Drew says right here, they don't call it March Madness for nothing.
So hang on here. So you and me both kind of sat on the show here, and we kind of blasted Combs for saying that he always roots for the underdog, and then we sat here and said that we kind of want a Kentucky versus Duke championship game.
I still do.
Right now, it is looking like we're going to have like a Chicago Loyola versus a Creighton championship.
Honest to God, if I had to give you a championship of everybody in the South and Midwest to come out of there right now, I think Loyola Chicago, and then of the West and East, I think it'll be Gonzaga. So I think right now it might be, Gonzaga, Loyola Chicago is what it's kind of looking like. Loyola Chicago is a really good defensive team, or Baylor possibly. I don't know. Man, it's crazy though. It's March Madness. It's souping up for something cool.
Honestly, it kind of makes me sad that we don't have any of the big Blue Bloods team. I mean, yes, Kansas is a quote big.
Yeah, but we haven't
blood.
had the Blue Blood teams all year. That's kind of my theory on it. It does suck to not see Cal in it and all that stuff. It actually doesn't suck. I'm so happy Kentucky's not in it. Let me rephrase that.
I'm so happy
it sucks to not see Louisville. It sucks to not see Louisville in it. And Duke and all of them. No, it doesn't suck to see Duke in it, actually. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, asking for a friend, was was Indiana in there? No.
No.
Do they have a coach anymore?
No, they don't.
Okay.
No, they didn't even make the NIT. Woo!
Sorry, IU fans.
Indiana hasn't been relevant since the 90s. It's okay. They had 2 good years, right in the middle there somewhere. But other than that, nah.
So
unless if they had a guy named Victor Oladipo, Cody Zeller, or Yogi Ferrell, they just haven't been good.
Yeah. So let me ask you this question, Wyatt. Indiana is based out of Bloomington, Indiana.
Yep.
There are March Madness games happening in Bloomington, Indiana right now.
Correct.
Do you think the presidents and ADs of Indiana are talking to these coaches right now that are playing there like they're like, hey, how do you like Assembly Hall? How do you like the town? Hey, would you like some pizza?
I'm sure. The big crazy thing that I heard about the IU coaching job, I heard this from my man Trey Kaufman. He told me his coach, who they nicknamed Chili Bowl, love the guy, but he's this IU fanatic, and Trey was telling me that he told him that Indiana was offering Brad Stevens 10 years for over $100 million, something like that. Was apparently the offer that they put out there. Here's what I'm saying. What is more IU than that? What is more of an IU move than to give somebody 10 years and he hasn't even walked in the building yet? Are you kidding me? What? Does that make sense to you? Or am I the only one here who is so confused about this? Or
I mean,
come on,
Brad
what
Stevens
is this?
Wasn't a bad college coach.
He was an incredible college coach. I think he still would be.
But do you think, because let's go ahead and get on this subject here for the last couple minutes of a segment 2 here before we get into liar. Indiana fans almost expect instant greatness. They think if they throw this money at Brad Stevens, it's instantly going to turn around and they're going to be a Final Four team.
Yep.
They're going to be 500 tops next year if Brad Stevens comes in. With that being said, how fast?
Coach.
Yeah, but you still got to recruit players to fit your system.
They got a good roster there right now. They got a good roster. They need to recruit one big to
just
come in. Just
because you have a good roster doesn't mean that those players fit your system. Come on, why?
They'll fit Brad Stevens.
You call games. You see systems night in and
I know,
and night out. Let's talk about high school level here. Do you think the coach from Jeff could transfer over to Silver Creek and they would have the same success playing his system? Probably not, right?
Honestly, I think it'd be better. You didn't hear that from me, though. I think it'd be better.
Well, like I'm saying, like, you know, but you know,
I get what you're saying. I'm just joshing with you, man.
Well, yeah, I mean, I kind of know the Silver Creek coach personally, like kind of like through my brother-in-law. They played basketball together through high school, so like I hear like a lot of good stories about him.
Hoffman's a good guy, yeah.
But okay, so let's take a less known coach, the Providence coach. Do you think
Miller.
the Providence coach can come over to Silver Creek and they have the same success?
No.
Yeah, because of the system, or just because of the coaching experience, or what? Like, why do you think no?
Because it's a big move for a coaching change. You know, you can make it work, but there's not a guarantee that everything does fall into place.
Right. So like me, for example, I am used to a 5A talent pool, right? If I were to move to a 2A high school, the talent pool would be a lot less, and the talent pool would be a lot more over on the offensive side of the ball. I need to bring players over, like just like over yada yada yada. Brad Stevens is coming from the NBA, coming from a 5A high school to a 2A high school in like Indiana. It is going to be a rough transition.
I don't think it'll be a rough transition. Because I want to agree with you. Believe me, I want to say that IU goes up in shambles because I don't mind IU. It's just their fan base sometimes kills me with the things that they come up with.
Is it your best friend an IU fan?
Yes, Blake Cinder, and he is one of them. I love him to death, but dear God, like I hate it. As soon as Archie Miller was fired, they're all like, "Bring on Brad, bring on Brad, bring on Brad." It's like, dude, calm down a little bit. You have been without a coach for 30 seconds. Stop talking about your next coach. Let's take a moment, chill a little bit. Let's see what your players want. Let's see what your system needs and all that before we start screaming for anybody to come. Because what if Brad Stevens doesn't come, okay?
Yeah.
Let's say Brad Stevens doesn't come.
You guys can have Bruce Weber from Kansas State. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah. I'll just use another example here. I don't think he's coming, but let's say Brad Stevens doesn't come and Billy Donovan from the Bulls comes. That's been a rumor. I don't think that's true either. But let's say Billy comes. How would Billy feel? Why weren't you cheering bring on Billy? Why'd you cheer and bring on Brad? That automatically causes problems right out the gate. Your fan base doesn't support your new coach. That's what it says.
Yeah.
You know, it's IU fans have got to calm down a little bit. Take a breath. Let's reset the situation here, and then let's go from there. But first, we need to take a breath, a chill pill. You know, we fired Archie 20 seconds ago, and we're already chanting "Bring on Brad." Oh, yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, IU fans need to be more realistic, like Kansas State fans. We are happy to get 8 wins in a season, and when we go to the big dance, we are ecstatic, and we win our first round game. We are on cloud 9 forever for the next 15 years. We are like Chicago Bears fans. We are still reminiscing of 1985. Like, hey, we won the Super Bowl in 1988, like 85. IU fans, sorry to say, but no matter what coach you get, it is going to take years to rebuild back what you guys once had. Like I'm not talking like 15, 20 years, but like probably at least you need a freshman class to go through the system to rebuild that dominance that you once had. Right, Wyatt?
I agree. I will say, though, I do think the young group that they have right now in the freshman class at the moment, I know it was Archie's group, but there's a lot of talent there with Landers, Galloway, with Leal, so and Geronimo as well. I think right now is the perfect time, though, if you're going to have a system change. Most of your star power is in your freshman class, so, you know, if it's going to happen, it's got to happen now.
All right, guys, so that's going to be it for the Man Hour, but we're going to take a quick little break on the Man Hour. On the other side of the Man Hour, we are going to do the world-famous segment, Liar, Liar. Wyatt Williams is leading the show. We do have a special guest coming on as well. So stay tuned right here on the Man Hour, guys, as we will be right back.
What is up, Man Hour Nation? We are here with the best segment. Okay, you heard me say it. The best segment here on Man Hour, Liar, Liar. The competition that requires the tough to be tough. And yeah. All right, so moving on now. I'm bringing on Buck here. We have a special guest. He has not told me who it is. He wants a raw reaction from me.
Yeah.
So let's see it.
So we do have a special guest to take Brandon Combs' place tonight. We do have him live on the phone. It's our man, our top fan over from the youtube.com/manhour page, the one and only Tori Anderson is on the line. Tori, what's going on, brother?
Oh, man.
So right before we came on, Trevor Bauer texted me, and all it said was CCSU. And I said, Trevor, what's that? And he said, Combs can shut up.
Yes.
As
I
Wyatt
love it.
Wyatt's eyes just perked up. Is like, oh, Trevor Bauer. Ah. so Tori, you know the rules. You are a fan of the show here. So since you are the guest, you get to have the first guess of the question tonight. So Wyatt, go ahead and take it away, my man.
Yes, sir. All right. So with our first Liar, Liar segment, for everybody who does not know, I give 2 lies, 1 truth, hence the name Liar, Liar. First person to 3 points wins. If neither of the guys, Buck or Tori tonight, get a point, then the point goes to Trevor Bauer, the greatest pitcher of all time. Rules are settled. Let's do this, gentlemen. Are we ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's do this.
All right. All right. Terminator. I like it. So next, here we go. MLB umpires start out at $250,000 a year salary. All right. Only one president has been on a Sports Illustrated cover, and it was Reagan. Okay. Then third, last but not least, the longest average NFL career is punters at 4.87 years on average. Tori, take it away, sir.
Ugh. Well, I can rule out the NFL one. I think that sounds pretty. That sounds like it's pretty average. The MLB union contracts are a tough thing to figure out. So, I got to go with Reagan was never on the cover. Well, there was a president, but it wasn't.
So he is going with President Reagan on the cover of Sports Illustrated. I mean, when you umpire a major league game, you are doing probably the full season. So, I mean, you're looking at a couple $1,000s a game, I guess per se. Probably what, 5 or 6. I don't know what that really equates to. But first of all, punters probably do have the longest careers in the NFL. Actually, I take that back. I bet you punters have the shortest, just because they are consistently not really signing longer contracts than that. So I'm going to go with the umpire one. I think the umpire one is the correct answer.
All right, everybody locked in?
Locked in, sir.
Final answer.
All right. And we do have a point being given out. And the person starting off the night 1-0 is Mr. Trevor Bauer. The longest average NFL career is punters at 4.87 years. Seriously. That is a fact. Yep. I didn't believe it either when I saw it. Longer than every other position in the NFL is a punter. They average 4.8, so almost 5 years as a career.
Well, see, I can kind of see that now, just because there's usually is only one punter per team, and if he lasts longer than 5 years, right, that bumps that average way up. Think about how many players only play 1 year for the linemen and linebackers and stuff like that. So
think about how many running backs enter the league and don't get drafted or anything, and then have to retire the next year. You know what I mean?
True. So Trevor Bauer won. Man,
Trevor Bauer starts
another
off
Cy
the
Young
up 1-0. So here we go, Buck. You'll take this one first. Here we go. We're talking about Trevor Bauer's teammate here, the second best pitcher on the Dodgers, Clayton Kershaw. All right. For him to break Cy Young's winning record, okay, he would have to play until he was 112 years old at his current win percentage for him to break the all-time wins record that Cy Young has. Okay.
Right.
Next, There are only 30 minutes of total action in a baseball game. All right. Third, last but not least, Jordan Spieth made $61,000 when he won the Masters. Okay? He made $61,000 less than Arnold Palmer did his entire career off of just the Masters. Sorry, I read that wrong. So we got Jordan Spieth made $61,000 less than Carson Palmer. Oh my God. Arnold Palmer. I am really losing it right now. Arnold Palmer did his entire career. Go ahead, Buck.
Well, by how much you were stumbling around with that question, I feel like that is 100% lie there. Can you tell me the other two again? Because I'm so baffled by that one.
You're good. Clayton Kershaw would have to play until he was 112 years old at his current win percentage to break Cy Young's winning record.
Right.
And there are 30 minutes of total action in a baseball game, as well as Jordan Spieth.
I feel like I've heard the baseball one before, and I think it was less than 30 minutes. Actually, it was like 27 or 20 or 26. But I'm going to go with Clayton Kershaw because Cy Young. There's a reason why they call it the Cy Young reward, Cy Young. So I'm going to go with Cy Young.
All right, Tori.
Now, are they basing it off of solely with Arnold Palmer's career earnings, just off of events, or total with the Spieth one?
Yeah, they're basing it off of Spieth's earnings off of the Masters was $61,000 less than Arnold Palmer's entire career of earnings.
So just events, right?
I finally said it right.
I mean, at least you didn't call him Jordan Rogers or something like that at that time.
Drink.
Which why it probably knows who that is. That's some quarterback in Green Bay's brother that they don't get along very well.
Yeah, The Bachelor.
I know him from The Bachelor. I love that show.
So I'm gonna go with that one. It's got to be the Spieth one. I think he may have earned more than what Arnie did in his career in the Masters in that one win.
Right.
All right, everybody. Final answer locked in.
It's got to be Spieth.
Okay. All right.
Lock
with that being said, tying it up at 1-1 is Tori Anderson. Tori, you are 100% correct. And Buck's cold streak continues.
I quit.
I was going to say, just because, is it like 500 and some odd wins that Cy Young has?
Yeah, 515, I believe.
Yeah.
So the true statement behind that is he would have to play till he's 68.
68.
Yeah, he would have to play till he's 68, as well as there is a total of 18 minutes, I believe it was, minutes of action in a baseball game. So I bumped it up a little bit.
Right.
But yeah,
you're
threw you all off with the
tough on
numbers.
us now.
I know. Hey, I have to, right? I want Trevor Bauer to win, man.
That's not going to happen.
God, I love it. So here we go. So back to you, Tori. You'll start this one off. If Michael Phelps was a country, he would be 35th all time in medals, dating all the way back to 766 BC, whenever the Olympics originally started. BC, before Christ. He would be 35th in medals for country. Okay,
is that what
the Patriots
meant before Combs?
Do what?
I thought that meant before Combs.
It does. It does. They were in the second grade class together. Combs used to bully Jesus at carpenter school. But okay, the Patriots once offered to trade Tom Brady away for Russell Wilson. All right, in a trade that nobody knows about. And then the final one, the 76ers were once known as the Docs, like the documents, because they're a city of documents, for the nation. So we've got Michael Phelps would be 35th if he was a country all-time in Olympic medals. The Patriots once offered to trade Tom Brady for Russell Wilson. And when I say that, the Patriots initiated it. They said, hey, would you give us Russell Wilson for Tom Brady? And the 76ers were once known as the Docs, like the documents.
I'm throwing the Sixers one out of there because that's so off the wall that it's probably true. And then what was our first one? Oh, the Michael Phelps one has, and there's so many countries that have come and gone since then.
Yeah,
that's honestly believable.
Right.
I'm gonna have to go with the Russell Wilson Tom Brady one just because it's got to be true at some point. Just because it's the Patriots and it's the Patriot way to just pull off something crazy, ridiculous like that.
absolutely. So Buck,
Tom Brady would be like in the prime of his career when Russell Wilson was even like thinking about coming to the league, right? Because he's 9 years in, and Tom Brady's 20 years in, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Fuck, he's 43 and he's still in the prime of his career.
yeah, but that cliff is inching ever closer. Week 3 next year, he'll be over that cliff.
shut up. Oh my God.
I'm going to go with Michael Phelps because didn't Michael Phelps win like 9 and like one in one Olympics or something like that? And
I don't even know
He was
how
in
many.
3
It's
or
a lot.
4 Olympics, I think. So I'm going to go with Michael Phelps.
All right. And with that being said, everybody tied up at 1-1, and one Buck is correct. Michael Phelps would be 35th all-time in medals if he were a country.
Wow.
Oh, man.
That's
All
crazy,
right,
isn't it?
So,
I
Oh,
knew I
it's
could have
wild.
went with my gut.
Yeah, you should have. Always trust your gut.
I mean, if I did that, I'd be even fatter than I am.
Yeah. Well, we do like pizza, and we do hear that Wisconsin accent. So I know you're eating cheese curds right now too. So
You want me to break out like, how's it going, eh? About time you let me on here.
yeah,
How's it going, Ozer, eh?
love it.
it's amazing. All right, so Buck, you take over this one, sir, and start us off. And with that being said, sticking with a little bit of an Olympic theme here, the Philippines has competed in the most Olympics without winning a single medal in anything. Next, we have Patrick Ewing once owned a camel. Patrick Ewing. Then, rock fighting was a sport in certain parts of the U.S. until 1980. So we have
Rock fighting, like
the
you throw
Philip,
rocks at each other.
yeah, like a for real sport.
That seems
So we've
like
got
real
the
dumb.
Philippines once competed, or the Philippines has competed in the most Olympics without winning a medal. Patrick Ewing once owned a camel, and rock fighting was a sport in certain parts of the U.S. until 1980.
First of all, professional athletes always seem to buy these exotic animals like monkeys and tigers and stuff like that. Like, look at Mike Tyson; he has like 3 or 4 tigers now. Absolutely crazy. And Patrick Ewing, the Patrick Ewing, you better recognize who I am walking through Madison Square Garden, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with the camel one because first of all, the rock fighting just sounds absolutely dumb. Like 100%. Like that sounds like a Wisconsin thing if it were a sport. So give me Patrick Ewing owning a camel.
All right, Tori.
So just because, is it rock fighting?
Yeah, like throwing rocks at each other until one like says "I'm done" or you knock the other guy out.
I mean, isn't that like most of just of our childhood?
Yeah, like bloody
think so?
Knuckles was like the same.
I mean,
same way, right?
Like, I mean, you guys. I know you guys don't know what snow looks like, but you get somebody you don't like, you take the rock and pack it inside the snowball and chuck it at their head.
Wow,
I mean,
that's savage mode.
Bang!
that's guerrilla warfare in the northern part of the country. So I'm gonna go. That is so ridiculous and off the wall. I'm gonna go with that. It's got to be true. That rock fighting was. It's like the most redneck, straight up Southern thing that there ever was in the entire world.
Exactly.
Like, let's go chuck some rocks at each other.
Exactly.
Count 2.
All right. With that being said, we do have someone taking a 2-1 lead, and that person is Mr. V. Trevor Bauer, the greatest pitcher of all time. The Philippines has competed in the most Olympics without winning a single medal. That's crazy.
Wow. I mean, they only have like population of 100, so
They should start a bobsled team.
yeah.
Jamaica did it. All right. And now everybody's backs against the wall. Trevor Bauer leading 2-1.
I feel defeated.
Next, we have. All right, Tori, you're starting this one off. we have Alfonso Soriano currently owns a pasta shop called Alfonso's Alfredo. All right. Next, we have about 46% of NFL Hall of Famers played for only one team. All right. Then we have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. We all know he's a very unique character. Only clips his toenails once a year. So we have Alfonso's Alfredo is what Alfonso Soriano currently runs. 46 of the NFL Hall of Famers played for only one team. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar only clips his toenails once a year. Tori, take it away.
So is it 46 Hall of Famers or 46% of Hall of Famers?
46% of Hall of Famers.
All right.
So just under 50.
Oh. I mean, if you're Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, you don't have to cut your toenails off because you pay somebody to do it.
That's true.
Oh. I mean, if you're that rich, you can just go get pedicure. Is that what it is? I don't know. I've never had to go get one.
I just got one this afternoon. It was really nice.
Random fact, I still have a friend that will fly home from California to Wisconsin to have his mom cut his toenails because he won't do it himself.
Wow.
What?
No
How
lie.
often does he fly home?
A couple times a year.
So
Good
weird.
God. What's he going to do when she
and if
passes?
he
I mean, I
can't do
don't.
it, he will go get a pedicure.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
okay.
afraid to cut his own toenails.
Good God.
So what was the first one?
It was Alfonso Soriano, currently owns a pasta shop called Alfonso's Alfredo. Then 46 of NFL Hall of Famers played for only one team. Then the last one was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar only clips his toenails once a year.
Just because I'm old and I'm an old school guy. I'm going to go with the 46% of Hall of Famers only played for one team.
Yeah.
Just because Plan B, free agency, like there was Plan B before free agency, and a lot of guys didn't move around. You had before that, guys just really didn't move around unless they were traded or they got cut. So I'm going to go with the 46% of Hall of Famers. That seems to make the most sense.
Yeah, that definitely does make the most sense, but also mean many professional athletes, buy into pizza shops, right? Like I believe it was LeBron James just bought a no-name pizza shop, and like now they're a top 3 pizza shop in the world. So give me the possible one, Wyatt.
All right. With that being said, tying it up at 2-1 is Torrey Anderson. With 46% of all NFL Hall of Famers only played for one team. Man. All right. So we've got Buck. Now your back's against the wall.
Nah, I'm used to it.
I love it. Here we go. So our next liar, possibly final liar, depending on if Buck clutches this one away. And Buck, you start with this one, correct?
I do.
All right.
Shoot.
Buck, it's all in. The ball is in your court now. Okay. Here we go. So, the 1989 French Open was won when a teenager hit an underhand hit, I guess. How do you explain that? When he hit an underhand ball,
That's
I guess.
a lie.
To the number one tennis player in the world, and that's how he won.
The French Open.
Okay, so next we have, there has only been one coach to ever win a national title as a coach and player in college, in basketball. And Eli Manning owns a rabbit farm.
So what was the second one? A player won a national championship as a player and a coach?
Only one person has ever won a national championship in basketball as a player and coach.
I believe that one is correct, just because I think I've heard that before, and there's not a lot of successful college basketball players that turn around to be successful college coaches, because usually they say those who can't do teach, right? So give me the coaching one.
All right. Mr. Anderson?
So, just because I really don't want Buck to win, because that is a great answer, Buck. I'm not going to lie. That's probably the one I would have picked. But I'm going to go with Eli doesn't own a rabbit farm. It's probably like he's probably like a beekeeper or something. Just because when he has a bad game, have you ever seen his face on the sidelines when they
he's a
show him
very
on camera?
unique and odd. He's a very unique and odd character.
Does that guy look like he's like goes and pets bunnies after he loses the game?
Yes.
No,
He looks
like somebody.
he looks weird enough
I'm
to do
gonna go
that.
rage and get the honey from the bees.
So are you picking Eli Manning Rabbit Farm?
I am going Eli Manning Rabbit Farm. Yes.
All right. So with that being said, we do have a winner for the night. So Buck, I'm sorry, sir, you are the loser. You could not amount to the points that was needed. So it's between Tori, and it is between Mr.
I
V.
promise you, if Eli Manning has a rabbit farm, I'm kicking you straight in the throat. I'm not even going to joke.
Me or Tori?
You.
With that being said, the winner for tonight is Trevor Bauer. Trevor Bauer, the greatest pitcher of all time, comes away with our Liar Liar segment. That's 2 for Trevor.
Yeah, back to back, isn't it?
And it is true. The 1989 French Open was won when a teenager had an underhand hit against the number 1 tennis player in the world, and he won it just like that.
I mean, like,
So
I
there
don't
you
know
go.
anything. Is the French Open, is that tennis?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know nothing about tennis. I've never watched tennis. I mean, like I passively watch it like every now and then, but I don't know nothing about tennis whatsoever. So
Yeah, that's the clay courts right there.
yeah, I mean, shoot, that's absolutely crazy. But guys, we're going to take our next break. Tori, we are doing Would You Rather on the other side of the break. Do you want to join us for that as well?
Sure, I'll stick around.
All righty. My man Tori sticking around for Would You Rather. Coming up here on the Man Hour, guys. We'll be right back. Wyatt, you're lucky that Eli Manning did not have a rabbit farm. You're very, very lucky. We'll be right back, guys.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckeyes along with Wyatt Williams and Tori Anderson is joining us on the phone here to complete our last game of the evening here. We have Would You Rather. Wyatt, this segment here kind of takes me back to, like, I don't know, I was like 16 years old, kind of like the Truth or Dare, but like Would You Rather type of thing here. So basically, we ask you some questions and you pick one or the other. Would you rather do this or would you rather do that? Rules are pretty cut and dry. We're going to kind of keep it sports related tonight since Combs is MIA. Hopefully Combs gets better here very, very soon here. But if you guys have missed any part of the show whatsoever, you can download the podcast form on iTunes, iHeartRadio, or Spotify. Or you can also check us out on youtube.com/manhour. So, Tori, are you still with us on the phone, man?
I am still here.
He is still here. So, Tori, since you are the guest of honor right here, we are grateful that you are with us tonight. We are going to give you the first shot at Would You Rather. So, last night in the NBA, in the Association League, LeBron James went down with an apparent pretty bad sprained ankle. So this kind of sparked my interest. Would you rather have a sprained ankle, a severe sprained ankle, or a broken nose? Tori.
I mean, fuck, you played sports.
Yeah.
This is an easy one. Give me the broken nose any day of the week. I have broken my nose. My nose is crooked still, even after surgery, over a sprained ankle. That sprained ankle is painful for weeks up to months. That is, and you can tweak it at any time. I would not wish that on Brandon Combs. So, give me the broken nose just because I've done it. It's not that bad. It's a little bit of blood all over the place. You're okay. It heals up. You're good to go. Hands down, give me a broken nose any day.
Wow. Wyatt.
I agree, man. I have had a sprained ankle before. It's no fun. I've also broken my ankle. That's not fun either. So, they say that some ankle sprains are more painful than breaking the ankle. So I remember how painful that was. I don't want to do that. So give me the nose 10 times out of 10.
So fun fact, I played football 4 years in high school, 4 years in college, and 7 years at the level after college, or not the NFL, but levels, past college there. I have never sprained an ankle. I have broke my nose 3 or 4 times, and my nose is still beautiful as can be. But man, when you break a nose, it takes forever to heal. When you get a helmet crushed into your face, and then if you just blink wrong, your eyes start watering. I mean, I would rather, kind of limp around on an ankle, tape that baby up. Like a broken nose, what are you gonna do? Stick the mask on it, and then boom, it hits you and then it breaks your cheekbones. Heck no, man! Give me a sprained ankle all day long. You guys are absolutely ridiculous. I mean,
you're ridiculous. Are you kidding me?
Sprained ankle, suck it up. Tape that baby up.
You can tell you've never sprained your ankle before.
Yeah. Maybe.
I was it is the most. It is the most painful thing in the entire world. You would be crying and being like, honey, will you give me something? I can't walk. It is, you can't put pressure on it for weeks.
You cannot.
I'm like, you're making fun of something that is awful. You're giving me my PTSD right now, buddy.
So, Tori, you are a grown man. You know exactly that men can handle broken bones, blood, and puke, and all that stuff, but we can't handle sickness, man. So, getting a sprained ankle is kind of like getting the flu. You were going to cry about it, but a broken nose, man up and do it, man. Come on.
Yeah. Right when I started watching the shows, I don't know if I told you guys that I had to have an emergency appendectomy. And they're like, what pain meds do you want to go home with? I'm like, none. I don't need anything. Yeah, I regretted that about 24 hours after that for about 48 hours.
Yeah. Any type of surgery is just flat out horrible. But let's go ahead and move on to the next one. We are well underway in March Madness. Teams are getting into the Sweet 16. Second weekend is upon us. So Wyatt, I'm going to kick it to you first. You are a player. This is your senior year. You are on a Loyola of Chicago. Would you rather lose in the second round or the Elite Eight in the NCAA tournament?
The Elite Eight, because everybody remembers those Cinderella story runs. It would suck to lose in the second round, because then you didn't defeat Illinois. Then I didn't make a tournament impact. If I win my first game against a 9 seed, so what? Nobody ever remembers. Buck, could you tell me one 8 seed over the last 5 years that beat a 9 seed? Could you name one off the top of your head?
Kansas State.
Okay, well, other than your team, how about that?
Kentucky.
Kentucky was never an 8 seed.
They were a 9 seed.
I said an 8. You know what? Never mind. I'm trying to make a point here and you're puking in my face. But anyways, nobody ever remembers the guys who beat the 9 seed. You always remember the guy who beat the 1 seed. So give me that. I'll go to the Elite 8 round, and I'll advance to the Sweet 16. Sure.
Tori.
See, for me, it depends on your team. So if you are a blue blood team and you lose in the second round, it's going to sting. It's not going to sting as bad as like a Oral Roberts or Loyola Chicago or somebody like that. Because when those smaller schools like that, like we are seeing this year with all these smaller schools making it, that has a longer impact than it does on, say, like, a Kentucky not making the tournament or Duke. Guess what? Kentucky and Duke are going to be right back in the rankings next year. Stock reloaded. These other teams like that, the smaller schools, the farther you make it, the better off you are, because that now has an impact on your, recruiting and your school and anything like that, because now you've got that exposure. And some kid that might be like, I don't really want to go there, might go, I never really thought about going to Oral Roberts, but it's a smaller school. It fits with my values, and I might go there because this is a pretty solid squad. Same thing with like Loyola Chicago. I mean, it's the same thing. It gives credence and credibility to those smaller schools that aren't going to be able to restock and reload like most of the blue blood schools.
Right. Yeah, Tori, I agree with your opinion 100% there. Let's think of a player that very few people knew about and then made a great March Madness run by the name of Steph Curry.
Steph Curry.
Nobody really knew who he was, and then
or
March comes around, he lights it up. I believe they made it to the Elite Eight that year, right?
And who did Steph Curry beat in the first round of that tournament?
That I don't know. Was it Duke?
My Wisconsin Badgers.
Oh, was it Wisconsin? Okay.
He lit us up.
Yeah, I mean, but
if it makes you feel better, Tori, he's lit everybody else up since then. So,
right. But go ahead, Tori.
And another little tidbit fact too, like when he went to University of Virginia, there again, I grew up with him, and in high school, we had to play them in the state tournament. He scored 56 points, and our team scored 43 points total. But anyways, his team, UWGB out of Green Bay, is that Cinderella run. They beat the playoff on a buzzer beater, and like.
Tori, you are starting to cut in and out on us a little bit there, so. If you can still hear us, can you let us know? Are you able to hear us?
I can hear you.
Okay, there you go. Now you're back. I believe the last part that we heard was he beat you guys on a buzzer beater.
Oh, so I was making reference like Tony Bennett when he was in college. He went to UWGB Green Bay. Obviously, his dad, Hall of Fame coach Dick Bennett, was the coach there. But their lore for that school is beating the Jason Kidd-led Cal team, in the NCAA tournament. Like, I don't know, what was it? Like, it was like 94, 95.
Yeah.
But that alone gave that school credence and credibility for smaller kids that were getting some other D1 scholarship offers to go to that school. Like, it's like what I said. People remember the Cinderella. They don't remember the big names that lost in like the third round.
Right. So. You guys make great valid points here. So the last would you rather of the night, would you rather get fired from your position just because you are not very good at your job, or get fired because a superior is inferior of your abilities? Tori, you go first.
I mean, have you read my blog? I'm not very good. I mean, I'm surprised you haven't fired me yet, Buck.
Never.
No, I would rather lose out to competition, because when it comes to that, I would rather lose out to somebody that's better than me at my job. Not because I'm one of those. I try to put 110% in everything I do, and I will throw all my weight behind it, and I will throw my passion and everything behind it. So if I'm going to lose, I'm going to lose out to somebody that is better than me, and I'm not a jealous person, so I will go up, I will shake their hand and say, "Great job." And I will continue to try to build myself to get to wherever I need to be at that level. So, yeah, give me losing out to somebody every day of the week.
Wyatt.
What was Say it again. What was the question?
So you are a coach, right? You get fired just because you aren't very good at your job, or you get fired because the person above you is inferior of your talents?
Oh, definitely inferior of my talents, because I can always learn and get better. If I just suck at my job, then I suck at my job. I can't go somewhere else to get hired. It's pretty much just kind of all over there. So, yeah, I would choose somebody more inferior because I can always learn and get better and then eventually be better than that person. But, if you just suck at your job, then you just suck at your job. So,
aren't you kind of playing both sides of the line there? I mean, if you get fired because you're not very good at your job, you can still learn and improve at at your job. But if somebody just is scared of you to take their job and they want you out,
yeah, but this goes for every single job at every single place. You've either got it or you don't. So salesman, you've either got that salesman attitude and vibe around you or you don't. You've either got, for athletes, they've got that work ethic or they don't. It's not, it's not one of those things that you learn. You've either, I think that's kind of the stance I'm taking on it. You've either got it or you don't. And what I'm hearing here is these people don't have it. So I would rather have it, but lose to a better person that I can get better than.
Wyatt, President 2024 there, as a politically correct answer comes out of his mouth 100% of the time. Tori, thank you for being on the show, man. We definitely appreciate it. We love to have you back on, man, anytime that you are available. Have a great night, bub.
Anytime. I mean, Combs is like a 16 seed. I'm a 1 seed. I just step in, But
exactly.
Brandon, we hope you do feel better soon.
Yeah.
We miss you, buddy.
Yes.
Definitely get better, man. All right, guys. So we are going to take our next break. On the other side of the break, we are going to talk some NFL talk. Kenny Galladay signed a humongous deal. What was it? 4-year, $70+ million. Danny Dimes is still the quarterback in New York. What does that mean for the Giants? Wyatt and Buck let you guys know right after the break here, guys, on the Man Hour. We'll be right back. And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckeyes along with Wyatt Williams and Matt. If you missed any part of the show whatsoever, you can download the podcast form on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or check us out on manhourradio.com. Also there on the website, you can become a member as little as $3 a month. You get after-hours footage, you get discounts on clothing, and a bunch of other perks that we'll be updating throughout the month here once the Man Hour really gets their traction and start moving forward here. Why we are definitely getting traction and going forward every second, every day, and it is exciting to grow with you and Combs every day here on the Man Hour. So,
Absolutely.
NFL season or NFL free agency is really hitting its stride now. We are into week 2 of the 2021 NFL off-season, league season, I should say. And there was a big signing that is kind of flowing under the radar. We kind of touched on it. I believe it was late last week. We touched on it a tad bit. But Kenny Galladay signed with the New York Giants, and for 4 years, $73 million. Yes, $73 million for 4 years for Kenny Galladay. Wyatt, what is your thoughts on this contract that he just signed?
It's a lot. It's definitely a lot of money, but at the same time, I think Kenny Galladay is one of the most underrated wide receivers in the league. Really good wide receiver. They don't call him Baby Megatron for no reason in Detroit. It takes a lot to get that nickname, and he's a lot like Megatron, body wise. Not, of course, Megatron was just a athletic specimen that was just by himself walking around the earth. There's nobody else that's built like that. 6'8", can run a 4.3 40. That's incredible. But Kenny Galladay's got the body that he does. Not quite the speed, but he does have the body. He's got the physical attributes. He's a guy you can throw it up to. He can go get the ball. It's a nice replacement, honestly, since Odell's gone now. I mean, they haven't really had that go get it physical, spec catch receiver. They haven't had that, and he is that guy.
Yeah, I have never heard Kenny Galladay be referred to as Mini Megatron. Like
Baby Megatron.
That is the first I've heard it. Like I've heard of that. So are you just is this still the liar segment here? Because that is definitely a lie. I think.
No, definitely not.
Wow.
I saw it the other day. Actually, I saw it about a week ago. Whenever he signed somewhere else, a Detroit Lions page or whatever on Instagram posted best of luck to the Baby Megatron or something like that. Apparently, this has been a nickname for them for a while.
Well, Megatron did do some good things in Detroit, but I believe that equivalent to 2 playoff wins, maybe 1. I'm not for sure, but either way, I think the Giants definitely overpaid for Kenny Galladay 100%. Why? Because they still need more pieces around him to really be successful. You could just not sign a really good, underrated receiver and expect to do great things. They need a complementary piece to him. Yes, Saquon Barkley will be back, but I'm talking about the receiving core. They need another receiver that can kind of take away the double team. But with them giving 4 years, $70 million, I feel like they are kind of in like a must-win now situation because Saquon is coming off his ACL, right? That he tore, or was it the Achilles? So he coming off that ACL tear, his days are kind of numbered. I mean, yes, I know we live in the day now where you come back bigger, faster, and stronger off of ACLs, but he's still a running back at the end of the day. The life expectancy of a running back is about 5 or 6 years. He's entering his 4th year, right? Coming off an injury. So. Danny Dimes has to step up big for the New York Giants right now. If Danny Dimes does not step up big for the Giants this year, why is he gone in New York?
No, probably not. I mean, I think that they really like him there. They call him Danny Dimes. He's got a nice nickname. But I don't think Daniel Jones is necessarily that bad. I mean, he's not a top quarterback by any means. I think he's still got a lot of room to grow. But I don't think he's necessarily one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. He's still a good option for them, and I think he has a lot of room to grow with the team, and I think that he can do that. So, and Saquon, yes, a running back's average length is somewhere between 3 and 4 years, but I believe the average Pro Bowl running back's length is 8 years. So Saquon's still got enough life left in him for sure. So, once they get Saquon back, once, Danny Dimes kind of gets that flow, once Kenny Galladay gets that flow, I think that everything should work itself out.
So are you saying that Danny Dimes is the answer at quarterback in New York, or should they kind of explore other options?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's most likely the answer. I mean, I think this season will really tell us what their plans of the future are. I mean, they just drafted him with the 6th overall pick or whatever, and everybody kind of looked at him all funny. Why'd you pick him? Why not Haskins? And we all saw how Haskins turned out, so it kind of ended up being a good move. So I don't know. I could see them moving on for him in the next 4 years, 3 years, but I don't think this year will be the year. I think he's still got a little bit of time left there in New York.
You are the Man Hour resident draft expert here. Do the Giants go quarterback in the draft to possibly groom somebody to take Danny Dimes' spot in 3 or 4 years?
No. I think the Giants. I really thought they were going to go with Pitts at tight end because they've already got Evan Ingram. And then I thought if they didn't go with Pitts at tight end, to pair up with Ingram, then I thought for sure that they would go with a wide receiver like Jamar Chase, a Devonta Smith, Jalen Waddle, something like that. But they solved that with Kenny Golladay. So, I'm kind of confused as, offensive line help never were, is bad. You can always add a corner or you can always add a safety. They'll be around that Patrick Surtain area, or you could even trade up possibly and get a better offensive lineman. Rashawn Slaughter will possibly be on the board when they go. So I don't think a quarterback is necessarily the path they'll take. Because I think Daniel Jones is at the moment the locked in quarterback for New York, at least for the next 2 years.
So we do have some questions coming like across the board here. Drew asked who the Giants' backup quarterback is. It is Mike Glennon. I don't know much about him whatsoever, but it is Mike.
It's
Glennon.
Mike. Is it Mike Glennon?
Yeah, Mike Glennon. He is from NC State, and this is his. He was a 3rd round pick in 2013. Yeah,
Mike's one of those guys like Fitzpatrick. He's played it all across the league. Mike was just at the Jaguars. He was down there playing whenever Minshew went out. Mike Glennon.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that great quarterback there, Garner Minshew, is down there in Jacksonville. So speaking of free agency, Garner Minshew is a free agent, right? Or that they're looking to like trade him actually for whatever reason. But why? Who is the best free agent that is still out there?
The best free agent that's still out there. That's a really good question. I'm kind of going to go with a direction of Kenny Golladay here, but I'm going to go with Marvin Jones in a way. Marvin Jones hasn't signed anywhere, has he?
Not that I'm aware of.
So just as long as he still hasn't signed, let me pick Marvin Jones. I think he's a really good wide receiver. He's a nice physical wide receiver, a good option. Not a huge household name by any means. He's a guy that you can get for a cheaper cost and add to your roster, and he is a really good wide receiver. He's a guy who can be that wide receiver 1 option for you when you need him to. He can also be a good wide receiver 2. Torrey Anderson just said Marvin signed with Jacksonville, so I was incorrect on that. But if you're still in the market, then that would be the case. But I will find another free agent for you. Buck, who's yours?
So I'm going to go with a receiver like lock as well from my Kansas City Chiefs, and Sammy Watkins. He has visited with Jacksonville, Colts, the Ravens, just to name a few, and has also visited with the Lions as a lock as well. Sammy Watkins was a former 2nd round pick, if I'm not mistaken. He was a number 1 threat in Buffalo for a couple years, and then he got injured, went to Kansas City, and he really just hasn't lived up to much. But of course, he was kind of overshadowed by many receivers in Kansas City. So I'm going to go with Sammy Watkins, just like on that side of things. And
I got it.
Yeah, and then Drew says, what happened to Von Miller? Von Miller did sign back with the Denver Broncos, if I'm not mistaken on that one. So who is your free agent, Wyatt?
Yeah, Jadeveon Clowney. I completely skipped over that name. He's a guy who has had a lot of really good years in his career. He's had a lot, he's been one of those hot and cold guys, I think, but he still is on the younger side of things, so I think he still has a lot of potential ahead of him, and he could definitely do something special.
One other question that I want to ask, this is kind of geared towards Combs, but he is MIA because he is sick. Get better, my man. But Chicago players are now coming out saying that they're very upset with the signing of Andy Dalton. So right now, Andy Dalton is slated to be the starter in Chicago. Is this bad mojo for the Chicago Bears moving forward that the players are already saying, hey, we don't want Andy here?
Was there any good mojo with them adding Andy Dalton?
God,
Was there really
I told you,
anything
Andy
they got out
Dalton's,
of that?
Andy Dalton's a good quarterback, Wyatt. Come on now. You know that. What did he do
Stop
in Cincinnati? They were always 8.
He did nothing in Cincinnati. He had like 2 good years, and he literally could not win a playoff game to save his life. And then he goes to Dallas, and what did he do in Dallas? Absolutely nothing. He would not have played a single.
And led him to 4. He led him to over half of their wins.
No, I'm sorry. I cannot sit here and tell you that Andy Dalton is a good quarterback. I refuse. Where do you have him? Top 10?
Probably 15, 16. I mean, so he's in the top half of the of the league. You give Andy Dalton a full offseason, like the reins as a starter, not kind of like this backup role. I mean, he will lead the Chicago Bears to the playoffs.
No, I'm sorry. That's all. I'm just gonna say no. That's all. No.
So, looking around the league right now, where do you have Andy Dalton ranked as a starting quarterback?
As a starting quarterback, maybe top 20.
So
I don't even know that. That might be a stretch.
So really, we're not that far off. We're like 3 or 4 players off.
No, probably take it back. Actually, probably. I haven't really thought about it. If I had to really just book it off the top of my head, probably top 30, top 25, somewhere in there. He's not even good enough to start. He's only going to start with the Bears because they don't have a quarterback. They legitimately do not have a quarterback.
I would say they have Nick Foles, but over here in the comments here, it said, according to First Take, that Philadelphia is interested in Nick Foles. Guys, Nick Foles is a good quarterback in Philly.
Of course,
everywhere else he is below average.
Of course, the Philadelphia Eagles are like, hey, we took away Nick Foles. Let's just bring him back for like a third time. Like, God, what are they doing?
Every time he comes back, he has a great time there. I mean, he is pretty good.
I'm done. I refuse. I refuse to deal with this. I feel so bad for the Pirtle family that I watch. They're all Eagles fans that I watch football with them every weekend. They have to deal with this crap. They have to deal with the Eagles every other week getting a new quarterback to add to their team or to play. I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. It's so frustrating and so confusing, and I can't figure it out. I refuse to figure it out. I'm just saying let it go.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Nick Foles is underneath contract in Chicago, so there would have to be some type of trade.
Yes.
Are they trading Jalen for Nick Foles?
I don't think so. I
mean, like the Bears are all in of trying to get a quarterback. Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson. Why not go for Jalen Hurts?
Yeah, I know, but I think them picking up Andy Dalton was a sign of them possibly going at a quarterback in the draft. I think that's what they told us. If they were going to trade for a guy, they never would have even brought in Andy Dalton, I don't think. Why?
You mean he signed a 1-year, $8 million deal? What better way to let Hurts sit behind Andy Dalton for a year, learn the system, have that security blanket 8 or 9 games?
Because Jalen Hurts is better than Andy Dalton. Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback than Andy Dalton right now.
Okay.
By far.
Where do the numbers say that?
The numbers say that in the fact that I have watched a game of football before in my life and seen those two play football before. That's where the numbers are.
Every day of the week over Jalen Hurts.
Stop it. Buck, come on now.
Dude, my eyes tell me that if you put some weapons around it, I mean, the biggest.
Well, clearly you've been drinking then, and your eyes are googly.
So the allergies are a lot better because I've been drinking honey water. I am thinking clearly. If you notice, I haven't been sneezing my butt off for an hour straight. And my voice
I thought I was going to lose you last night, man.
Dude, like my soul left my body 3 or 4 times, and I know I have a soul because I am a ginger. So I mean, the souls are still alive in our bodies. But with that being said, the biggest knock on Andy Dalton in Cincinnati was he just couldn't win the big game, right?
He couldn't win any games, man.
He was habitually
he had one good season where he won a lot of games. If you took Andy Dalton's career in Cincinnati,
Right.
and took just his average seasons, he is an 8-8 quarterback at best.
Okay.
9-7 at best.
8-8 get you to the playoffs.
No, it does not.
Yes, it does.
No. In the NFC this year, yes, it does.
Weren't the Bears 8-8?
So I just said
playoffs?
In the NFC, yes, it does. This year in the NFC, yes, it does.
What is the issue here? The goal is to make the playoffs, right?
Yeah, the goal is to make the playoffs, but not to lose in the first round every year. And they didn't make the playoffs every year.
Like, I'm not saying they've made the playoffs every year, but he was a habitually 8-8, 9-7 quarterback year in and year out.
I would say
in
somewhere between
Cincinnati.
7-9, 9-7, that mark every year.
That's exactly what I just said. And the biggest knock on the Cincinnati was they didn't have any defense to help him out. And their Martin Lewis was just happy making it to the playoffs so he wouldn't get fired. Let's just be flat out honest, like on that. So
they're terrible.
Who is terrible?
Like just Andy Dalton. He's terrible.
So you are saying terrible is 8-8 quarterback and losing in the first round of the playoffs, right?
Every single year, if you are 8-8 every single year and you make it to the playoffs every other year and you lose in the first round of the playoffs every single year, yes, that is in my book a terrible quarterback.
Who else has always lost in the playoffs in January? Just out of curiosity.
Not in the first round, sir. In a championship.
I'm not talking about the Packers, so drink for that one. But I'm talking about a team. I'm talking about a team that wears purple and black.
The Ravens, of course.
Yeah.
Well, the Ravens enter the playoffs at 13-3 every year, 12-4, not 8-8, and they do win games. They just won a game this year.
How about this? Would you rather be 13-3 and lose in the first round of the playoffs, or 9-7 and lose in the first round of the playoffs?
13-3.
Why? Because your expectations are so high that you're like, oh, we're going to go to Super Bowl, and you lose in the first round?
No, because then next year I'm looking around and I'm like, okay, hey, last year ended terribly, but we're still Super Bowl contenders. If I'm 8-8, I'm looking around and I'm like, wow, we really made the playoffs and racked up a late round pick, and we're not even a Super Bowl contender.
How about this? Right now, as the teams are constructed pre-draft, which is late April, May, I think like April 29th when the draft starts. Who is more Super Bowl ready, the Chicago Bears or the Baltimore Ravens?
Baltimore Ravens 101 times.
What? You got to be kidding me. They don't have any receiver cores. They have like a tight end that's like below average. Their defense is what's carried them, and then Lamar Jackson. At least the Chicago Bears have receivers and a defense and a running back and a average quarterback. You know how many average quarterbacks have won Super Bowls? At least 5.
I don't know what to say to you. I really don't.
I
have no clue. I have no clue what to say to you right now. I don't know. Whatever you've been smoking and drinking, I need some of it because apparently it is very good. So, wow.
2000 Baltimore Ravens were led by a average quarterback in the name of Trent Dilfer. They relied on their running game and a solid defense. And Trent Dilfer made some passes when he needed to, right? San Francisco 49ers, just a couple years ago, they made it to the Super Bowl by relying on an average quarterback with some decent receivers with a great defense. What do the Chicago Bears have? A average quarterback with some defense quarterbacks.
A terrible quarterback. A wide receiver core that is currently getting broken up. We don't even know if Allen Robinson's going to return. Okay, an offensive line that is terrible, and a defense that is so worried about playing, they don't know if they're going to get traded this week or next week. What are you seeing here that I'm not? What am I missing?
I'm telling you, as a team is, Combs probably like thinking, oh, these guys are crazy because they're talking about my Bears, and and I'm not here.
Combs would agree with me right now. I promise you.
I am defending you. Like I'm rooting for the Bears right now, simply just because I'm sick of your Packers. I'm sick of that yellow wall. I'm sick of that cheese head. I'm sick of Aaron freaking Rodgers being so good. You guys need to suck this year, so Jordan Love can play. But the Chicago Bears have a good, solid core together right now. As consistently constructed, an average quarterback can probably get them to the Super Bowl.
Buck, they had an average quarterback last year. What happened?
They ran into a juggernaut of the Saints, and they're on Nickelodeon.
The juggernaut that got demolished by Tom Brady.
You cannot beat a team 3 times in a season. Why? You know that. Do you see the hoodie that I'm wearing right now? You cannot win 3 times in a season.
If you have an amazing, what's the word I'm looking for here? If you have an amazing DC, yes, you can. But
no, you can't.
No, if you don't have an amazing DC.
How many times has a team beaten somebody 3 times in a season? I bet you it's below 20%.
I know the Packers do it all the time. We always throttle everybody in our division, and then as soon as we get to the playoffs, and it's either the Bears or it's the Vikings most of the time every year sitting there, and we play them first round. We normally
I can't remember the last time the Packers played a division opponent in the playoffs.
2-3 years ago.
What game was that? The Vikings game?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah. Of the last 10 years, it's happened 4 times. Once against the Bears, once against the Vikings, once against the Bears, once against the Lions, and then twice against the Vikings.
All right. Well, I guess you point Wyatt on that one. I reckon I'll give you the point here. But we're going to take our last break here, Wyatt. On the other side of the break, guys, we're going to open it up to Shop Talk. If you guys want to discuss anything sports related, let us know in the comments. There are some comments over there that we're going to discuss here on the other side
some comments here we have to discuss
of the break, Wyatt. So, but if you guys are members only, you can head over to Man Hour Radio here at 10 p.m. East Coast time and join the after hours talk, because we got some crazy questions that we're going to answer. This is live, raw, and uncut. Nothing is off limits on the after hours show, Wyatt. So be prepared to not be 18 anymore. Welcome to manhood, brother. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckeyes here along with Wyatt Williams. If you missed any part of the show whatsoever, head over to manhourradio.com, click on the podcast, and it'll be the most recent episode up there. So as we play some Linkin Park to shout out Shop Talk, that takes me back to high school, Wyatt. Do you even know who Linkin Park is?
I know who they are, but I was never, I wasn't part of that era, so...
Yeah, you weren't a
the only rock
kid,
that I like is classic rock. I'm not into this, I don't know how you explain this. I don't even know what this is. Like, what would you consider this? Pop rock? What is this?
I don't know. It's Linkin
Grunge?
Park. That's all that matters. It's Linkin Park. The Hybrid Therapy is probably one of the best albums that they ever put out, and it was the first one. I was in 7th or 8th grade when that came out, which is crazy to me to think back.
Doesn't it? Okay, is this just me, or does it feel like while you were in 8th grade, like music was the best it had ever been in your entire life since then? You know what I'm talking about?
No, because I grew up with Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera and NSYNC and Backstreet Boys and then Linkin Park. So I wouldn't consider those guys the best, to be honest with you. So I don't know.
8th grade year and 7th grade year, me and Nikki were talking about this earlier, but like that was the best that music's ever been, like in our life, like for like new stuff. Now it sucks now.
Who came out when you're 8th grade?
Drake's Views album where he's sitting on the side of the skyscraper.
Drake is overrated.
You're overrated. Shut up. What are you talking about? Drake's amazing. Drake had that album, Views. Future had the Mask Off album.
Who is Future?
You got a lot of learning, sir.
No, I don't, because I know
Yes, you
music.
do.
I am a music connoisseur, and as Tori says, big hair days rock. So, like, do you even know what classic rock is? Like, why?
Yes,
what is classic rock?
I have the most unique playlist on planet Earth. I swear to God.
No, you don't.
Today on the way to sell advertising.
Who is classic rock?
Huh?
Who is classic rock?
AC/DC, like that stuff.
Okay.
Motley Crue.
Sure.
Yeah, all that.
Fun
no,
fact here. Go ahead.
No, like today on the way to sell ads and stuff, I was riding in my car, right? And I had John Denver playing. After that, I had Drake. Following that, I had Motley Crue. I love Motley Crue. And then after that, I had I put it on shuffle. I don't remember what the song was after that, but I was just like sitting there and I was thinking, I was like, I just had John Denver on. Then I switched to like new age pop with Drake and stuff. And then I switched back to Motley Crue. Like, what in the world's wrong with me?
So you're batting one out of 3. So I guess you can play in the Major League Baseball there. So whatever. Nonetheless, here Michelle comes out and says Combs is old in 1 more week. So yeah, Combs' birthday is on the 29th, if I'm not mistaken, right, Michelle?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. You got me.
And as the soul gets blown out of my body again there. So. Let's go ahead. Brandon Combs says, I will never agree with Wyatt, but Buck, I will disagree with you here. Combs, you are a Bears fan, so you need to ride with your boys 100%. Like, you are being absolutely ridiculous when you don't support your boys. That's right. Wyatt, isn't Combs an Arizona Cardinals fan now?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. So, and then he comes back and says that Winston will beat the Bucs 3 times this season.
Okay.
Wow.
That's all I have to say. Okay.
Wow.
That's the comment I wanted to announce. That's the one. That's like, that's my what the.
Are they playing in the preseason? Like, does that count as a win? I'm not for sure.
I don't. That would probably be the best place.
Tori comes at me and says Buck is just mad because K-State couldn't beat Kansas once this season. Spoiler alert, Tori, Kansas State has not beat Kansas since like 2016.
Since Buck was a little baby.
No, we own Kansas and Lawrence once every 25 years. So yeah, give me some. But Tori, you get to understand.
What town is K-State in? I know Kansas and Lawrenceburg. I almost went to college. I looked at it.
Lawrence, Kansas is where the Jayhawks are, and Manhattan, Kansas is where the K-State is. They're a little under an hour apart here. So we do have some other things here. Drew says it sounds like Wyatt needs to put on his big boy panties on.
I don't know what did I do?
Not for sure what he is referring to on that one. I'm not for sure there, but they are talking about how old Combs is in the chat here, and it says Wyatt's going to have a heart attack blowing up that beach ball. Yeah, why are you blowing up a beach ball?
Well, I mean, it's sitting next to my couch here, and
we really don't care why you're blowing up a beach ball. Why? Because that's how we're going to end the show tonight. If you guys are a member, 10 p.m. East Coast time, join us on the After Hours show. Wyatt is going to explain why he's blowing up a beach ball in the middle of the show. Wyatt, I'm going to bring you back on. Send us out, man. I'm just kidding. Wyatt's not sending us out. Man Hour Nation, rise up.